walkout with Paul and Jay, with red hot stories from post game, interviews, analysis, within the hour, right here at the Growler.
All right, welcome into the latest edition of the Walkout. Paul Leader Jr. and Jay Morrison here for your training camp recap. Day 9 in the books. The last one that is open to the general public, and there was a massive crowd on the practice fields today. Probably the biggest crowd that we've seen throughout all of camp, not counting this yesterday's stadium practice. So beautiful day. Everybody wanted to come see it. And we had a lot of fun. There was a lot of activity. Some of the first real, true drive the field, unscripted sessions that made for a lot of fun today.
Yeah, and a lot of the same themes with the defense doing a lot of talking, Ja'Marr Chase throwing balls at defenders, and some things that were a little bit new today's practice with the unscripted part.
Let's open it up. What's your takeaway?
It's just that. And again, not to be a conspiracy theorist, but the defense has been really good, but I think they've been helped by the fact that everything's been kind of scripted. They knew what was coming. Today was unscripted. The offense kind of got a little bit of revenge. There was Paul mentioned it. They did the drive the ball. Literally, if you get a first down, you move the chains. How long your period is depends on whether you can get first downs. And 4 drives for the first team offense, 3 touchdowns. Probably could have been 4. I'm still looking for a review. The very first drive, T. Higgins caught a ball, strong-handed it, took a couple steps. He was definitely in bounds, took a couple more steps out of bounds, and Jordan Battle swiped the ball away. He didn't go to the ground, so it's not like you have to survive the ground. Looked to me like it was a catch, but it was a 3rd and 5 play. They called it incomplete, and they just said, okay, get off the field, ones. We're going to the 2s. There was a number of other times where they went for 4th and 5, 4th and 1. They tried to keep those drives going. They cut that one short for some reason, but Joe Burrow's out there throwing touchdown passes to Ja'Marr Chase, throwing one to T. Higgins. It didn't count. We'll get to that one later. Samaje Perine scored on a run. He throwing a touchdown pass to Tanner Hudson. Like, he was getting everyone involved, and it was actually Jake Browning that got the defense to jump off sides with a cadence play on a 4th and 1. Definitely, I would say the best day for the offense so far in camp.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not coincidence. No. The moment that you started freeing everything up and letting them just kind of work the offense, suddenly it's T, it's Ja'Marr, it's Tanner Hudson. Oh, I'll give you one. You guys love highlights. I'm going to make sure we give you some highlights. Here's the Tanner Hudson touchdown. You can check it out. It's in rhythm. 1, 2, right on the spot, right in between Jordan Battle and Geno Stone, thanks to Chuck Burks, who popped up in front of me there. But you can kind of see that was kind of the story of the day, a play like this, where it was just in rhythm, hitting their spots, finding the open guy, and everybody kind of making plays for him. Isaiah Williams with a nice touchdown catch today as well. All right, so that said, my takeaway is something that the defense was doing today, and that was, we've spent a lot of time talking about Shamar Stewart, but I think you guys want to know what's happening. This was the most we've seen him used in different spots today. He was kicking inside. He was out on the edge. He was out covering the flat really nicely and really doing a nice job of all of it. He had another flash rep where he just busts right into the backfield. One of those good primal screams that you get from a defender when they make a play after he did that one. That's been consistent. Another day where he wasn't just doing different things. He was showing up when he was doing those different things, and you can see them pushing him. You can see them pushing Shamar Stewart along and him responding at every single turn. And, kind of almost unprovoked afterwards, we had Al Golden did a little bit of a media scrum after, was asked just generally about positional versatility, and ended up going into a monologue about Shamar Stewart and how rare he is to have somebody who can set the edge at his size, but then kick inside and be able to hold up and also be able to do some of the things he does from a speed perspective. All of that, just really unsolicited praise about how rare of a player he is. You're seeing them start to utilize him that way now.
And the exact reason they did it as much as they did today, he was still hands on hip, a little gassed at time. He's still working his way into football shape, but you can see it coming and you can see the vision. And I think that's important. And we'll see. You know, with what he's been here a week, and I think he will be in football shape in no time. And then we'll really get to see him in these preseason games. And for those of you that haven't been down to practice, I think you're going to be impressed with what you see from the kid.
Yeah, said he is expected to play in the preseason game on Thursday. Okay, let's go. What about a play for you?
So I mentioned it was the T touchdown that wasn't a touchdown. Again, this is unscripted, and the offense subbed, and the defense tried to sub, and Joe Burrow snapped the ball. He's like, "Oh, we got you with two." I mean, it was probably 14 guys on the field, and he threw a fade to T in the corner. Just a beautiful pass. DJ Ivy, really good coverage. T goes up and high points the ball. Literally, he couldn't have got it at any other point. And again, there was just nothing DJ Ivy could do. And I talked to DJ after practice. I was like, yeah, but it didn't count. And he said, he caught the ball. That's a catch in my mind. And that's, that's a good way to look at it for a young DB like that. But it reminds you of how special T is with his frame. We've seen him do all the crossing, the strong hands, and that type of thing. But the contested catches and high pointing, there's not many DBs that are going to be able to outleap him when he can go up and get a ball like that at the perfect height. And Joe Burrow can put it at that height. And
DJ Ivy did have some nice plays there. Had a PBU in a similar type of spot as well, and was getting a lot of love from his teammates on that. But so you see back and forth. But yeah, this was a day where it's like, oh yeah, there's T. Yeah. There's that weapon. There's that thing that they can do, that they can go to when they have an opportunity. You can throw it up and watch them go get it. Spectacular play right in front of us.
And Burrow's quick snap is why we don't have video of it, because neither one of us had
it was too quick. It was too quick. We were still reacting to the last one, and it was a true run everybody on and just throw the fade T, which is the ultimate thing you do when you're just trying to quick snap. Just, okay, well, I got that guy and you don't. Okay, let's my play. I've got one. Somebody that we talked a lot about in the run-up to camp, and you don't always hear a ton about, especially in the early portion without pads on, and that's Chris Jenkins, who had a moment today, and it was this. It's Chris Jenkins coming and watch him coming in off the right side as Joseph Osai goes down. He ends up getting a sack of Joe Burrow. You got to kind of keep an eye on that right side when you watch it here for us on the YouTube channel. Thanks to all you guys that have been subscribing and watching that. Right here, running a little bit of a game between Dylan Fairchild and Orlando Brown, and just pops. Osai goes down, but it's Jenkins who gets in between Orlando, where Orlando can't get to him, and Burrow can't even get away, just eats the ball and kind of slams it a little bit in his other hand. And then you get some celebration time from Chris Jenkins after that, who was pretty excited. We've heard good things. I feel like the chatter about what Jenkins is bringing in year 2 has been very positive. Got to see it on the field, of course, but the stuff that you've wanted to see to this point, you've seen. This is probably one of his biggest moments of camp, getting a sack like this. But I think you're starting to see some of the progress from him. You're seeing plays where he's recognizing a weak spot, getting, past Orlando Brown there to get the sack. So Chris Jenkins, positive review. Nice play for him today.
Yeah, and again, back to my original point, that made it 3rd and 16. The offense converted. Burrow had a 13-yard scramble, and then on 4th and 3, he hits Jamar Chase. So even a sack like that, and the offense still overcame it. But again, Al brought up Chris Jenkins afterward after practice when he was talking about how happy he is with the way he rushes the passer.
Yeah, which is something that he needed to be exponentially better at this season. Okay, let's go. What's the thing they say for you?
Okay, so I should have had this ready to go. So we're talking to Amarius Mims after practice, because he was back out there today. He'd missed a couple practices. He left Wednesday's practice early. He didn't take part in the final 2 drives for the first team offense today. Said that was part of a plan, but we were talking about the injury. He didn't want to go into details about the injury or how it happened. But he did say that I got the wrong thing up, but he said it's a violent game. This is the game where you can beat on a man all day and not go to prison. and he was talking, he said it's something he's going to have to fight through, and it's something he's dealing with. He said he's been fighting through stuff since he got here, and he did. He had the pec injury early in camp last year, and never really felt like he was 100% recovered from that until you get later in the year. Then he actually breaks his hand and plays through a broken hand. And it's the same right hand now that he's dealing with. He didn't want to go into details, even what part of the hand it was, how it happened. But, you talked about it last week too, where Scott Peters saying he has to know that he can fight through these injuries. His availability is so important. And you kind of ask him today, is that something you have to learn? And he is. He's still a young guy. He's learning to do those kind of things. But he made it clear, my job is to protect number 9. I'm going to be out there as best I can, fighting through it to do my job.
Yeah, you can feel the coaches pushing him.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel the coaches pushing him to go out there, play through it, be learning how to do that. And I would assume if Burrow is out there on Thursday, which we are expecting him to be, 71 is going to be out there as well at right tackle, playing through whatever he's playing. You can see there's a picture. You can see he has kind of like what looks like must be a soft cast or something underneath tape that's on that right hand. He's not getting into specifics, but he said that it is something that I am going to play through and going to have to play through in order to, keep playing it. So he's trying to push through right now and not going to jail. Also, thankfully, that's good for everybody. Okay. Thing that they say for me, I talked to Barrett Carter a little bit. This is for something I'm going to have running later in the week, and was just asking him about Demetrius Knight. And he kind of took me aback when he said, D Knight is the smartest player I've ever played with my whole life, and talked about how it's crazy that he's here and they're doing this. This speaks to the versatility stuff with Shamar, their second round pick, the same way. Al Golden's like, look, he's in there. He can play off the edge. He's got him working off the edge, some as an edge rusher, then shifting back so that they can play different types of defenses without having to sub. And Carter's saying, his ability to come out here and already know these different positions and know them so well, it's just unbelievable. And so the smartest player that I've ever played with. I think you just continue to hear these types of things about Demetrius Knight. That has been consistent since the day that he walked in the building, man. They love him.
Yeah. And I think it is, even though Carter is a rookie himself, I think there is it really means something for him to say that, because Carter is a guy that he's wearing the green dot. He's the communications guy for when the number 2 defense is out there. So they're entrusting a lot in him. And he talked about it too, where he goes home after practice and he decompresses. And the first thing he does is he goes home in 30 to 45 minutes of scrolling TikTok at the hotel. And then he goes right back into the playbook. And so he knows he's diving into this. He sees what Demetrius is doing. And I said, sometimes when you like really dive into something, you start dreaming about it. He's like, yeah, I've dreamt about football practice an awful lot this summer. And it's not something I enjoy, but I'm going to keep working and studying.
A lot of these guys' dreams are going to come reality on Thursday when they play in their first NFL game, the preseason game in Philadelphia. We'll have the real walkout for you after that. Excited about that. One more practice Tuesday before that. So we'll have a Tuesday practice recap coming your way. And then PD and J is going to be here. Charlie's going to join us on that one on Wednesday. We are going to go full rookie look. We are going to talk about all the rookies, how they've looked in depth, expectations for what to see from them in the Thursday opener, in the preseason and beyond. So deep dive into the rookies coming from myself and Jay and Charlie on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that in your feeds. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll talk to you on Tuesday. Have a good one.